back, everybody. So today we're gonna do a full brew day, but we're gonna use a Mr. Beer kit. Now, I did pick this up off Amazon. I will leave a link down in the description. This is the Diablo IPA. Now, why would I want to do this? Well, we are into this small batch series, and we're starting at the ground, and somebody just getting into brewing might want to pick up one of these kits just to try. Most of the work is done for you. From the back, hopped malt extract. Now, what is that? It's almost like making a beer. Now, Mr. Beer is owned by Coopers, and from what I read, what they do is Coopers brews a normal beer, then they take most of that into the Coopers beer. But what you can also do, or what they do, I should say, is they will run it through a centrifuge and get out most of the water. Then you're left with a syrup. So it would cut down on your brew day. Now, they're saying, you know, you're not losing quality. So in that beer, just like you would, they mash in, they draw it off, they add the hops, they do all that. The only step that they don't do is putting the yeast on there, because if you put the yeast on there, you're going to have beer. So this is boiled down into a syrup, or they put it in a centrifuge and get most of the water out, then you're left with the syrup. They're saying that it's not leaving behind any flavors or anything like that you would get out of an all grain. I can't really comment on that because I've never done it. So my thing is, if it was exactly the same, everybody would use this. I don't know if it tells us what hops are in this, but let's go ahead and open it. So this is a 2-gallon. It says 22 servings. I'm guessing that's 12-ounce bottles. So this is the kit you get. Inside the kit, you do get some sanitizer. It tells you how to use that, which in homebrewing, you're gonna want to use it no matter what to clean your stuff, either before or after. So, put this off over here. So it does say Diablo IPA on the front. It is heavy. I thought it was like... Okay, it's 2.86 pounds. It does say some ingredients: malted barley, hops, yeast, under the lid. As I said, if they really made a wort and then transferred it into a carboy and pitched yeast, you're going to have alcohol, so this wouldn't make sense. So let's go ahead and see. I've never done one of these, so I don't know how hard the top is to get off. It spins, but... Okay, so after some prying and all that, we finally got it off. So here's your yeast on this 5 grams brewer's yeast. Mr. Beer 2118 is the number. I don't know if that's fresh, because at first I was thinking 2018, but it is 20118. So for the yeast, what I did read, I think it's on the back of this, that it's actually their own, it's Cooper's own yeast. So it's not going to be, it could be a US-05 or something like that. Yeah, it is Cooper's yeast, so I don't know what yeast it is. What I might do, we'll see, is because technically we're not adding any hops to this, because the hops are already in the syrup. After I'm done, I might wash the yeast and keep this and keep on going, just to see if it tastes different in a different kind of beer. But yeah, so here we go. We are going to brew this today. It does say tear here. So I'll do that in the next one. I don't want to rip it. But for the Diablo IPA, on the side, it does say it's an American IPA, fiery amber in color, intense mouthfeel, displaying a blend of floral, spice, and stone fruit aromas. So they could be using like a Chinook, Floral, a Cascade, a Centennial, something like that, Stone Fruit. There could be a lot of them. A lot of hops do say that. So, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and brew this. The thing I would say to do is get this warm. So that way it does come out a little easier, but we'll go ahead and start brewing it. We'll tear this off and see what the instructions say, because everything should be here. This should be a quick brew, and I did notice best before August 30th, 2021, so that is good that they're putting dates on this. So yeah, let's go ahead, let's get brewing. Okay, so we went over what is in the Mr. Beer Diablo IPA kit. So let's look at the brew day for this. So brew day is pretty easy. Everything's in one can. They do have notes on here. So you're going to remove the yeast. You're going to put hot tap water in something and let that can sit for about 15 minutes. It's going to turn it more into, I wouldn't say a water, but it's going to get that stuff going, so that way it pours pretty easy. You're also going to fill your Mr. Beer or whatever kind of fermenter you're using with cold water. And what this is going to do, once your mash is ready, you're going to be able to pour it directly into the fermenter, and it's going to cool it down instead of having some form of like product to cool down your wort. The water is going to cool it down for you. It also says place 4 cups of water into a 3-quart pot. Then you're going to open your can, dump it in there, mix everything up. So really, you're not boiling this. And so it's pretty straightforward. 15-20 minutes. And then you're going to have a batch of wort that's going to ferment into beer. You're going to sprinkle the yeast on there, and then this says allow to sit for a minimum of 10 days. It does give you a range. The range seems kind of high to me. I guess on the low end at 68. I think like USO5 is 64, but I could be wrong. And then you're going to transfer it. I did do 10 days, and then you're going to transfer it into a keg or bottles and let that sit for 2 weeks. And then you're ready to drink. And here we are. So one more thing I wanted to go over. It does not give you a starting gravity or a finish gravity or ABV, anything like that. At least on the directions. And again, this is the Diablo kit. So I made this on 111. 11 bricks is what I got. And then when I bottled it, it was down to 6 bricks. So 4.36% ABV. Now, I think I know why some people have a hard time making these. They go bad. They get mold in them. One thing, and I'm not sure, you might be seeing a video of it. Once you open that and dump most of it in there, you're going to get some that run down the sides. If that container is not sanitized, you could potentially, because you are not boiling this. This says bring the 3 cups to a boil, remove from heat, and stir in all that contents. You're cooling that boiled water off pretty quickly, and most of the time what you're going to do is you're going to dump it in there, and you're going to swirl it up, and stuff's going to be running down the side, and then you're going to transfer that into there last. So I can see, if everything's not sanitized, that some of these batches could go bad. I'm just saying. So on to this beer. This is a reusable cap. I did use 8 small drops. There's not too much pressure in here. I can push it in. I wouldn't say easy, but it is still squeezable. So we'll see if we get a hiss off this thing. Yep. So we did get a hiss. Go ahead and get it into this glass. Good color. So what this is pretty much a beer. You get a beer in a can that has just been boiled down. And then, it's boiled down so much, it's a syrup. They package it and go. You could do this at home. It'd take you a while. I think they use a centrifuge to get the water out. But yeah, it's just, they start out with grain, add the hops. They could add whatever hops are in there. They do not tell us what hops are in there. And then, yeah, boil it down to it's almost a very thick liquid, almost a syrup. Get the rest of the water out, package it, and you can make beer. So we don't have a head. What I do have is white. Some bubbles coming up that I can see. Color. It looks like a red or a very light brown. Nice ruby red, darker red color. Very, very clear. It looks like a magnifying glass. I can see the bell sticker. I can see the light. Yeah, I like that color. Nice color. Let's go ahead and smell, see what we get. Whoa. Listen to that. So, it's wanting to carb up, just no head. Caramel. Like caramel sweetness, no malt, caramel sweetness throughout the whole entire thing. Yeah, just like lightly roasted malt, like big time caramel sweetness. I'm trying to, it almost smells like a Doppelbock. Like you think with all that sweetness, it's going to be big in ABV, but it smells so good. It smells like a good beer that you would have a fall winter when it's cold. It smells like it should be about 10% with all that caramel sweetness that's coming through there. Hops? I don't know. I would say if I had to do this blind, I would say there's minimal hops, maybe 20 IBUs. It's something just to, cut, just to add something to the malt so it's not all malty, and that's about it. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and taste this thing. Okay, there's some hops. First taste tastes like a fat tire. New Belgium fat tire. More caramely, malty than anything. But in the taste, there is a lot of residual sugar, a lot of caramel malt in there that you're getting, like a heavily roasted malt, but not burnt at all. There's a little hop presence. It's not really. It's more hoppy than it is like fruity or citrus. It feels like this is somebody's first time making an all grain batch and they went way overboard on the malt. Like they put so much malt in there that it's canceling out the hop flavors, like those adjunct malts, like a crystal 40, 60, 80 even to get to this color. That's what it is. The hops are still in the background a little bit. Maybe it's a little too young, but yeah, they bought extra, like, and I'm just saying, instead of half a pound of Crystal 80, they somehow got a pound and a half of Crystal 80 and put it in there, and they didn't realize it, and they still used 2 ounces of hops or something like that. To me, this is more on like the like almost like a doppelbock kind of level with the taste, a fat tire type of level, a big malty caramel beer with a little too much hops in it. If you wanted to go that way, like they were looking for a doppelbock, something in that realm, and added a little too much hops to it. But it's good. I mean, if you're into that caramel malty beer, which usually I'm not, but this works. Um, Thicker, on the thicker side, maybe a little too thick for most people. If you're just getting into homebrewing and you want to make lighter beers, this is probably a little too much. So on the side, it says American hopped IPA, fiery amber in color with intense mouthfeel. Floral spice stone fruit aromas with a firm and lingering bitter finish. Now, I can say the bitterness does linger more than anything. It's, to me, it's almost more of that crystal malt that they're using. It tastes like that's what would be lingering, but I could see the hop presence lingering in this. Floral side, yes, I would push it more to the floral side than anything if it's there. But I think the caramel malt is a little too much overdone in this. Color, for what they're saying, is spot on. It's just, I think it needs more fruitiness, stone fruit, as they were saying. But somebody starting out, you better like malty or malty, like grainy, malty, caramel syrup beers. It is a little bit sweeter, but again, I don't know what this thing was supposed to finish at. Like I said, there's not an ABV on here, so I'm not sure. Color of hop malt extract will darken with age. Yeah, I can see that. But solid. Would I buy this again? Yes. In the winter, fall months when it's really starting to get cold, I could drink 2 or 3 of these. You could drink 10 of them at 4% ABV. Sweetness, that maltiness probably is going to wreck your palate pretty quick after 1 or 2. I think I got 6 bottles. I did make the 2 gallons of this. But yeah, I think color is spot on. I don't believe the maltiness. When I'm thinking of an IPA, not this malty, with the caramel in there, I don't think you would want to do that with an IPA. But if they just said Diablo on the container instead of IPA, there's nothing wrong with this. I wish it had a little bit more of a head on there, but for what it is and the $22 or whatever, I think it's fine. I will link it below if you guys want to check it out. But yeah, color, very good looking color. If I was doing this blind, I would say it's a red. Some kind of red, lighter brown, like you missed the mark on doing a brown. But yeah, overall, good beer. If you've had this, let me know down in the comments below. I do have another one. We will be doing another IPA from them just to see what that one comes out like. So if you like this video, check some more homebrew videos out over here. And until next time, happy brewing.